Hi everyone, hopefully you're doing well. Welcome to today's session. Today we are looking at investment basics, but I ask all of you to subscribe to Julius's Finance Hub for better financial knowledge and inspirations. So back to our topic for today. Today we're looking at the investment decisions. So let us start off. When we talk about investment, what do we mean? So when we talk about investment, we are literally meaning is to allocate money expecting some benefits in the future. Now, when you allocate money into any form of into anything, you expect some benefits to be in the future. Now, this benefit in the finance language, we call it a return. Now, this return here, depending on how you're going to manage it, when you manage it very well or you manage it poorly, you either get what we call a profit or a loss. So it is basically dependent on how you manage it. If you manage it well, you're going to get a profit. And if you manage it poorly, you're going to definitely get a loss. Okay, let us move ahead. What are the different types of investments that we have? The first type of investment is what we call passive investment. So here, the investor does not take part in the day-to-day management of the business. For example, you can be able to invest in shares, treasury bills, fixed deposits, bonds, etc. So in this, you are not going to basically take physical day-to-day management of this kind of an investment. What you just do is you put in your money. After putting in your money, you wait and you receive dividends or profits or interest at the end of the trading period. Like for example, you've heard of MTN issuing shares. So in this regard, you find that MTN issued an initial IPO, that is initial public offer. So in this case, those who bought shares with MTN are not involved into the day-to-day running of the business activities of MTN. They are not the ones selling data. They are not the ones selling airtime. They are not the ones selling smartphones. They are not the ones doing mobile money services. But you find that at the end of a certain trading period, when MTN declares their profit or their dividends to be given out to customers, they will be able to definitely, or to shareholders rather, they will be able to definitely get their interest or the dividends paid out to them. Then the second one is what we call active investment. So with active investment, here is where the investor takes part in the management of the business. So most of the various businesses we see today are actually called, or the various businesses we see today are examples of active investments. So in this case, the investor earns profits, of course. After carrying out the business, you buy, you sell. So what you will earn, the difference between the buy and sell, after you deducting all your expenses, that is what becomes the profit that you earn as an investor. Right. So, where should you invest basically? If you are a person who wants to invest, where should you invest? So, the first place where you can be able to invest is businesses. You can be able to invest in businesses where you start up different types of businesses, as we shall look at. At least we shall look at about 25 business types that you can be able to invest. You can be able to invest in shares in companies. So as you hear different companies are issuing shares out, and the shares that they issue and they say, okay, we shall pay out dividends. So in this case, you can be able to buy shares in companies. And when you buy the shares in companies, that means you are literally investing. The third one is bonds. You can be able to invest in bonds. I give this as a take home to you. You should find out what are bonds, what are the different types of bonds that you can invest in. So basically, to be able to give you an highlight of everything, bonds are basically long-term investments where you can be able to have a 5-year bond, you can be able to have a 10-year bond, you can be able to have a 20 years, 50 years. So these are basically traded at the Uganda Securities Exchange. whereby we have the different companies who trade these different bonds that we have. The next one could be treasury bills. So treasury bills, unlike bonds, which are long-term, treasury bills are mainly short-term in nature. So that literally means you can have up to less than a year, that is within months. You can have up to 2 years or 3 years treasury bill, just like that. Yeah, so those are the different avenues, amongst others, where you can be able to invest. So after knowing that, we now look at what we call the importances of investing, or importances of investments. Why is it that it is important to invest? So when you invest, there is a potential for long-term returns. What do we mean potential for long-term returns? So in this regard, we mean you are capable of getting a return after a long period, okay, like in a long period of time. So like, for example, let's say you've invested in shares in a company. This company is going to pay you out your dividends, which is your return in this regard, as long as you are still a shareholder there, and as long as the company is still performing and making profits, or it is still in existence and making profits. So you realize that you will be able to keep on getting those returns. Then we have what we call it outperforms inflation. We all know that inflation refers to the persistent increase in prices of commodities. So in this regard, if you are someone who is investing, you'll find that you're going to have a constant flow of income. And when you have a constant flow of income, that means even if the prices increase or decrease, or even if there is inflation or disinflation, you are still going to be able to have your income flowing. Now that brings us to the third point, where we talk about it provides a regular income. So when you invest in a business, remember, in businesses you earn income every day. That is on condition that you properly manage that business. But if you poorly manage it, that definitely means you're going to earn a loss every day. So now, assuming you are properly managing your business, that will definitely mean you are going to earn a regular income, which is actually very important. And when you earn a regular income, you are going to be able to meet your changing needs. We know that human beings, or as human beings, we have needs that we need to fulfill. Okay, let's start with the basic needs of life. Say clothing, we talk about accommodation, we talk about medication, we talk about feeding, and then there are other basic needs, there are other luxuries, or there are other ones which have become needs these days. We talk about things like a phone. A phone is a need to many people these days. I know this can bring a lot of arguments here and there, but it is very, very important. Okay, so maybe the last one for this case could be you invest to fit your financial circumstances. So you might have circumstances whereby you need more money to be able to do something, or circumstances where you need less money to be able to do something. So investment will enable you to fit your financial circumstances as and when you want them. Okay. The next thing we can look at, we can talk of, is the 25 business ideas we have in Uganda. So in Uganda or worldwide or any other country that we have different businesses that we can be able to invest in, and by the way, make a lot of money. Most of us are seated at home, but we don't know that we can really be of very high or very rich people, because we have various investment opportunities. For Uganda as a country, we really have various investment opportunities. Worldwide, we have various businesses or the different business ideas that we can invest in. So let us look at these business ideas. Now the first one is what we call IT services. You can invest in computer repair and maintenance. You can invest in mobile money business. You can invest in app making, web designing, digital marketing, computer and accessory shop. This one is very common. Mobile money, computer center where you do photocopying and generally stationary business. You can invest in what we call mobile money transfers, e-commerce. Mobile monies are really very, very many. We have e-commerce. You can invest in online teaching, like the way I'm teaching people right now online. You can do solar panel manufacturing. You can do watermelon farming, dairy farming, chicken hatchery, piggery, beekeeping, fish farming. You can open up a salon, dress designing, bakery, a cafe, a restaurant or food delivery. An example is Jumia. We have Glovo. Then we have a grocery store. Then transport business. We have different the taxis, the safe borders, and the rest. Then we have tourism as a business that you can be able to start. So as we can see, we have various investment opportunities that are in Uganda and worldwide. So it is upon us to be able to choose which one do we want to involve in and which one is suitable for the various areas that we live in. Now, one other thing we need to note in regards to this is that different investment opportunities vary, or the different opportunities fit in the different areas. Like, for example, you might have an area that is not literally good for fish farming because it is a dry place. You can have an area that is not good for, like, for example, piggery. You can have an area where you cannot properly do your IT services. So you should be able to do what you call assessment before you invest. So these are the various opportunities that are there, but you have the most task to be able to identify and say, where can I best invest? Where can I best go and then be able to invest without any problem? So it is upon you to be able to know that here is where I should invest, here is where I shouldn't invest, here is where I should invest. So this is where I would like us to end for today. But remember to subscribe to the channel and put in all the questions in the comment section, and I will be able to respond to them immediately I see them. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to Julius's Financial Hub for more financial information and knowledge sharing. Thank you so much.